Welcome to r/Topposts, where OP abandons his daughter so that he can marry a hot, young 18-year-old girl. Our next Reddit post comes from r/Relationship Advice. This is my first time posting on Reddit. I know that I'll be met with harsh judgment, but I need advice on how to rebuild a relationship with my only daughter. I want to start off by saying that I know that I was the one who ruined our relationship, but it's been 3 years already. I just don't see why she can't come around. I miss her terribly, and she's my one and only girl, my only child. I should explain. I'm a 43-year-old man, and I married my current wife, who's 21 3 years ago. That is a 22-year age gap. Wow. The age gap, 22 years, is actually longer than the age of his wife, 21 years. It caused quite some backlash from my friends, my community, some of my family members, my ex, and, of course, my daughter. But I had to marry my wife. She's the only one for me. She's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's a kind and caring woman. I knew that my daughter would have some problems with my marriage, but I never expected how harsh she could have been. She begged me to end this marriage. She pleaded with my wife to leave me. I had to admit, I'm not proud of myself, but I told her that I wish she was never born. Yo, what? That I resented her and that she meant nothing to me. I already had a rocky relationship with my daughter. She never approved of my relationship with my wife, but we would at least have a talking relationship. Since that day, she hasn't spoken to me since. If I'm being honest, I miss her, and I decided to see on social media how she was doing. She's engaged. I'm her father, and I found out about my own daughter's engagement through social media. That was when I knew that I'd made a serious mistake. I don't want to miss out on any more of her milestones in life. I contacted her through social media, but she blocked me. I want to reach out to her again. I want her back in my life, but I need advice. Okay, I see that OP posted an update and I haven't read it yet, but I bet you money that OP is leading out a crucial detail, which is I'm betting that his wife and his daughter were friends. Because it's not typical that a 43-year-old guy just happens to meet a 21-year-old. So my guess is they met in school, or she was like a classmate or a friend of hers, which makes it way, way worse, and OP is excluding it. So let's see. Okay, OP posted an edit. First off, I did not meet my wife when she was a minor. That would have been extremely disgusting, and I would have seen her differently if I had. Everything about our relationship had been legal, and there was clear consent. I met her when she was 18. We dated for a total of 8 months before we got married. She had always been more reserved and shy, so we agreed to an elopement. I'm not planning on having any more children in the near future. As for the relationship between my wife and my daughter, they weren't enemies, they were simply friends. Heh, called it. She had started coming over, and a relationship between us naturally developed. She was skeptical at the very beginning, but I truly love her, and I know that she feels the same. I must also say, my wife is an adult woman. She's not some baby. The way that a lot of you consider her to be a child is frankly disturbing and hurtful towards her. She can make her own decisions, and she chose to be with me. Why else has she stayed by my side for 3 years? OP, I don't think the core issue here is exactly the age gap. I think the core issue is that you told your daughter that you wish that she was never born so that it would be easier for you to bang her 18-year-old friend. I think that's the real problem here. My sweet daughter, I love you so much, but man, if you just weren't around, think of all the hot 18-year-olds I could be getting right now. I mean, that kind of stings a little, let's be honest. Okay, and then, how much longer? Less than a year later, OP posted an update. I received a message from my daughter. She unblocked me and sent me a brief message. She wanted to meet up, and I was feeling hopeful. I thought maybe she realized she needs her father in her life. Though she followed that up by saying that my parents had pressured her into at least trying to speak to me. That hurt a bit. I thought she wanted to meet up and reconcile out of her own volition, but even if it was just pressure from my parents, I was still happy. This was my chance to make things right. On the day that we were supposed to meet up, I made a huge mistake and I lost track of time. I was... Oh my God, I was busy with my wife. She was too cute to ignore. And well, one thing led to another, and by the time I remembered, it was already 30 minutes after we were due to meet at the local park. I can't forget the look that my daughter gave me. She almost seemed as though she didn't care and even expected this. I tried to explain myself the best way that I could. I kept it vague and said that I lost track of time, but she wasn't having any of it. I tried so hard to get through to her and explain that I was sorry, but she just coldly told me to make my parents leave her alone. She told me that I wasn't her father anymore, that she'd never forgive me for everything I did. She told me that if I or my parents ever bother her again, she would stop talking to my side of the family completely. I have to admit, I was getting a little angry as my parents had done nothing wrong, but I held my tongue. To add salt to the wound, she told me that I was not invited to her wedding and her maternal uncle would be walking her down the aisle instead. I felt broken. I wanted to make things work. I had to make things right. I kept trying to get through to her, but her fiancé showed up and they left, just like that. I couldn't even get another word in. She didn't even introduce me to the boy. I just feel like it's all over. My parents have been blowing up my phone, blaming me for screwing up and embarrassing them, but at least I still have my wife by my side. I feel so effing alone. But with her, my life doesn't seem like a complete disaster. She's all I need. This guy's philosophy seems to be, hey, as long as I can... I feel so bad saying this. Hey, as long as I can sleep with an 18-year-old girl, nothing else matters. I can take whatever life throws at me. Entire family hates me? Fine, don't care. My daughter thinks I'm scum of the universe? Fine, don't care. The entire internet's making fun of me? Doesn't matter because I got an 18-year-old wife. I genuinely feel super sorry for the daughter. Having your dad be a horn dog, I mean, yeah, that stings. But having him say that he resents you and he wishes you don't exist just so he can go get his dick wet easier is, like, that would cause some serious trauma. Our next Reddit post comes from rSlash. I'm a 25-year-old woman and my husband is 31. We've been together for 5 years, married for 2, and from the outside, we have the perfect life. We have the house, the yard, good jobs with benefits, 2 lovely pets, and a supportive circle of friends. We share the same hobbies and goals, and I swore this was the man that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Recently, after he disappeared for 2 days, he shows up and tells me that he got arrested for trying to meet up with a minor? No! But it turned out to be a sting, and suddenly everything went wrong. You know, the guy got Chris Hansen'd, that's funny. I all but lost my mind worrying for him, and then he destroys my world with this revelation. The trial went on for a whole year and has culminated in that he now has to register for life as a sex offender. Throughout it all, he's been withholding information from me, and all the information I found out has been through searching his computer and police reports and piecing things together myself. He's been begging for forgiveness nonstop, and his family is also trying to get me to forgive him. My family has been supporting me as best they can from my home country. But everyone wants to pretend that my husband isn't going to have to permanently register with another state if we were to move, that he can't be left unattended with a minor, and the shame will hang over our heads forever. I can only be grateful that we live in California, so there wasn't a public notification to our neighbors, but I'm absolutely mortified to go outside anymore. Unfortunately for me, I'm an immigrant and therefore a green card holder, and so my ability to stay in the country is tied to him. I love my life here, my job, my friends. I feel as if I've made a real home here. I also resent him for destroying the life we've built here because we discussed children and I can't fathom the thought of having children with him. I worked through all my emotions and I'm ready for a divorce, but I really want to be able to build a life here for myself. But as it stands, it's very unlikely. And so I've been beating myself up that all this work I've put into making a home for us has been destroyed, and I've basically spent the last few nights mourning. I haven't spoken to any of my friends here, and honestly, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking about quitting my job and just packing up because he can no longer sponsor me once my card expires, and I'll be living here illegally. OP, America is great and all. I like living here personally, but I don't think living here is worth being married to a P word over. So I think your best bet is to just dump him, hire an immigration attorney, and hope for the best. Our next Reddit post comes from r/regretfulparents. My 12-year-old daughter had a meltdown this weekend over an iPhone. My ex-wife and I agreed that we would get her a Gab phone this summer, provided that she did well in school and showed that she was responsible enough. For those who don't know, a Gab phone is a phone for kids and teens. It has no internet and no social media on it. I went to pick her up this past Friday, and when I got there, I saw that my ex-in-laws had bought her an iPhone. My ex goes, "Mom and Dad wanted to surprise her since she did so well." My ex-in-laws have always tried to undermine our parenting, especially my ex-mother-in-law. My ex-wife always tried to downplay it, and it was one of the reasons that we divorced 6 years ago. I say, she's giving it back. You and I agreed that she would get a Gab cell phone. I look at my ex-mother-in-law and tell her, the phone is going back. And before you say anything, it's not about the money. Her mother and I had already planned what type of phone she could have. You are going to take the phone back because you had no business buying it for her. My ex-wife goes over to our daughter and says, "Sorry, honey, but your dad said that you can't have it." The tears start first and then the meltdown. And no, she's not on the spectrum. My daughter yells at me, "I hate you! You ruin everything! I hate going over to your house! I hate you! I wish Tom," her stepdad since she was 6, "was my dad! I hate you! I wish you would disappear!" Something just broke in me. I thought about all the money I spent in the custody battle, all the time that I spent going to recitals, and going to parent-teacher meetings because she was being a mean girl. All the crap I had to put up with from my ex-in-laws always trying to undermine me, my ex-wife agreeing to something with me and then caving to her on her folks, making me look like the bad guy. Just all the downright disrespect and being made to feel terrible just because I try to set rules and boundaries. The feeling of always drowning and being overwhelmed by parenting. I was just so sick of parenting this little mean girl. Her grandma comforts her and her mom tells her, "Apologize to your dad." I tell her, no, don't make her apologize because she has to truly mean it. I look her in the eyes and I ask her, "Do you really feel that way? Just tell me the truth." She looks at me in the eyes and says, "Yes, I hate you, and yes, I wish Tom was my dad." And she meant it. I tell them, fine, she can keep the phone because I'm just done. She doesn't want to come over anymore? Fine. If Tom wants to adopt her, tell him to draw up the papers and I'll sign them. You're gonna get your wish, kiddo. I'm gonna disappear. I'll pack up your room and your things at my place and I'll drop everything off this weekend. I did just that when I got home, packed up all of her stuff and dropped it off at her mom's front porch early Saturday morning. I got dozens of texts and calls from my ex wanting to talk the past few days, but I didn't respond. I was offered an assistant director job with the international division of my company a few weeks ago. Even though it's a huge promotion and a huge pay increase, I turned it down because of the extensive travel requirements and a possible relocation overseas. First thing this morning, I went to my boss and told him if the position was still open, I wanted it. By lunch, I was in a Zoom meeting with the VP and the department head of this new division. Before I left this evening, I was in HR filling out paperwork. I officially start the new job in 3 weeks. I know that I'm going to have to talk to my ex and my ex-kid eventually, but I meant what I said. I'm done. If her stepdad wants to adopt her, he can. If not, that's fine as well. I'll simply be a monthly check. I may update this. I'm just done being disrespected. Am I the butthole for my response after a guy rejected me? I'm a 22-year-old woman, and this 23-year-old guy joined our friend group 6 months ago. I instantly felt attracted to him, as he's a very handsome guy and sweet. At the start, we got along well, and we even spent some time together without the others. I was certain that we would start dating soon. However, after a while, we began having disagreements. He would accuse me of having a bad attitude, not being nice to people, and mistreating others in general, which is all false. Fast forward to a couple of days ago. He hadn't asked me out yet, so I asked him when he would do that. This is the text that he sent me. "Listen, you're beautiful and you're my type. I thought you were stunning from the moment that we met. But a pretty face means nothing when a girl behaves the way that you do. Personality is important to me, and yours is horrible. You treat people like garbage, and you even made such and such cry over something petty. I'm not even sure if you notice that everyone constantly walks on eggshells around you. So no, I decided not to ask you out. I am physically attracted to you, but you're not the only attractive girl in the world." I found this text really hurtful and shocking. After I read it, I went over to his place and we started arguing. I ended up crying and throwing some stuff around. At the end, there were some broken plates and glasses. After this incident, my entire friend circle labeled me crazy and unhinged, which I'm not. Am I really the butthole here after that awful text? Okay, just to play devil's advocate for a second, I will admit that getting a text message from the person you like and they're like, hey, your personality is actually a dumpster fire, that would hurt my feelings. I think that would hurt anyone's feelings. So it's reasonable for her to be a bit, emotional, because anyone would be emotional in that scenario. But to then get dressed, get your keys, get in the car, drive over, storm inside, start an argument, start throwing around that dude's dishes in a crazy breakup. Yo, you're not even dating and they're having a breakup argument. It's like this dude has to sit through divorce fights and he hasn't even gotten married to her. So I can definitely see where the guy is coming from. He really nailed it with her. Like, he accurately predicted, yeah, OP's got issues. And, to play devil's advocate the other side, I really think that the text he sent her is nice. How do I say this? It is harsh, like it's a very mean thing to say, but he's trying to present it in a way that can provide some, how do I say this, some self-reflection. He's not saying this to hurt her. He's saying it to hopefully open up her eyes and make her realize, hey, maybe I'm being a bad person and I should, change my behavior. So I don't think he's being malicious. That's not my read anyways. Also, pro tip, saying I'm not unhinged or crazy doesn't actually mean you're not unhinged or crazy. If you do unhinged and crazy things, that's what determines whether you're unhinged and crazy. That was r/top posts from Reddit, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.